So this wine was a departure from our normal just Cabernet or Merlot Cabernet blend. So it's 75% Merlot, so we can call it Merlot. We typically didn't put Cuvee on the front. We started to do that after Sideways, when Merlot took a dip, and thought, well, let's sort of give it a different reason to exist, and also make a point that Deerfield is really about blending. It's really what we're best known for. And so Cuvee, and it's actually been very well accepted. We've got it in a couple of the wines now, and we're going to continue with that. We're coming out with a Shiraz Cuvee next year. So it's 10% Cabernet, 7% Sangiovese. You can't really pick out the Sangiovese, but it really adds to the nose of the Merlot. 5% Malbec. Malbec's a very interesting grape. It's a nice wine by itself, but it's great as a blender because it acts like blackberries. When you eat blackberries, you get this flavor in the middle of the palate, and it's mostly the acids from the fruit. But then the flavor of the blackberry actually sits down in the back of the palate. It's where you taste blackberries. It just fills the bottom back of your palate with flavor, and that's where Malbec sits. So it takes that frontal character of the Merlot, the structure of the Cabernet, and then dips it down in the back and fills in the back of the palate with the Malbec, and you can taste the Malbec in it. From its effect more than the flavor of the Malbec. The Malbec does actually taste like blackberries because of where it sits on the palate. And the Cabernet Franc's kind of like dark chocolate. When you eat really good dark chocolate, you find yourself breathing out over the chocolate because you get all this cocoa in your nasal cavity, where half your taste is. And Cabernet Franc is like the dark chocolate of wines. All this flavor is above the center line of the palate into the nasal cavity. So it takes all that matrix of the Merlot and the Cabernet Franc, it takes all up and makes it more ethereal into the top of the palate. So it basically tastes like Merlot with a lot more going on in it. So 29% Cabernet, 23% Merlot, 17% Syrah, 11% Petit Verdot. Petit Verdot goes down in the front bottom part of the palate. 9% Sangiovese. Backing up, Syrah is all from the bottom half of the palate downward, so it's grounded. Flavors come from the bottom and work its way up. 6% Malbec, 5% Cabernet Franc. It says, Red Rex is a fruit-forward, full-bodied, complex, and velvety. Each handmade lot is aged in select French and American oak barrels for over 2 years and blended by taste to reach every part of the palate. Winemaking is 60% cooking and 40% chemistry. It's all about technique, style, attention to the details, and blending. Red Rex is like the best soup or sauce you've ever had, you've ever tasted. I should have my glasses on. And will pair with everything from ham sandwiches to your best gourmet cooking. We made 2,500 cases. So that pretty much tells you where I'm at. I want to make a wine that is very approachable, that is not loaded with a lot of tannin and acid, but really fills the palate and reaches every part of the palate and gives you an absolutely complete experience. And as a bonus, we make the wines very cleanly and they're very stable. So even though they don't have a lot of tannin and acid, which we used to use as a preservative, the wines age very well. We've only been making this style for about 18 years, so we're not sure how long they age. We've certainly got wines that go back 18 years made in this style. Very low in histamines, no red wine headaches, no active SO2 once they're released, no allergic reactions. Very, very clean. Red Rex. And this wine took right off. It's now our most popular wine, and we're just getting ready to bottle the 06, which will be almost 4,000 cases.
I call it my...
The next wine is the Super T-Rex, which is Sangiovese-based Meritage, essentially. So it's modeled after the Super Tuscan wines. That's why it's called Super T, and with the last name like Rex, it was too much fun to pass up. So Super Tuscan style, Sangiovese-based rather than Cabernet-based. Sangiovese, Cabernet Franc, Cabernet, and Dolcetto. So the forward fruitiness of Sangiovese with the complexity you get from a Meritage. Dolcetto, interesting grape. It's more commonly known from Piedmonte. Dolcetto d'Alba, of course, is the most well-known one in the world. But most of the Dolcettos come from Piedmonte. But the part of one of the Sangiovese vineyards. There's 3 Sangiovese vineyards in this. One of the Sangiovese vineyards in the Dolcetto vineyards is the same Windsor Oaks vineyard that the Cabernet, the Sauvignon Blanc came from. And this is a little patch of this vineyard that was actually planted from Sconewood. It was brought over from an Antinori vineyard in Tuscany.
Oh, nice.
And so the Sconewood was a combination of Sangiovese and Dolcetto. We were fortunate enough to land the contract on that. And the Dolcetto acts a lot like a combination of Malbec and Petit Verdot. It accentuates the flavors down in the bottom of the palate and kind of spreads from the front to the back. On its own, it has kind of a dusty rose flavor, but it has a blend that really accentuates the bottom of the palate.
It's a Merlot.